Adam Carter patrolled the halls of Gaia 2, the sound of his boots echoing in the quiet diplomatic wing. The soft blue glow of bioluminescent lights cast shadows on the walls. He glanced out the window at the view of swirling amber and violet clouds, with massive cargo ships floating by like mechanical whales. His communicator beeped. "Carter, we've got a situation in Suite 17. Priority 1. "Understood," Adam replied, rolling his eyes. Priority 1 usually meant a diplomat had lost something or spotted a cleaning drone. "What's the problem?" "Unknown. The diplomat requested immediate security. Keep it discreet." Adam changed direction and headed to the lift. He wasn't happy about his job, but sometimes missed the simpler days of fixing engines. The lift took him to the luxurious diplomatic level, where the air smelled of exotic perfumes, a contrast to the sterile lower levels. He reached Suite 17, and the door slid open. A woman stood in the doorway, exuding authority. She was dressed in a deep necklined fitted dress, and her dark hair cascaded over her shoulders. "Officer Carter," she greeted softly, but with command. "I'm Morel Zer Alria. Thank you for coming." Adam straightened. "Ma'am, what seems to be the problem?" She glanced around and motioned for him to follow. "Perhaps we should talk inside." The room inside was luxurious, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a view of Naria's ethereal clouds. Morel gestured to an elegant couch. "Please sit." "I'm on duty," Adam replied, but she sat down gracefully, as if used to commanding attention. "This is delicate," she said, "and requires your understanding." Adam frowned. "What's the issue?" Morel's eyes glowed faintly as she looked at him. "My people sometimes need biological assistance." Adam's hand instinctively moved toward his stunner. "Medical help?" "No," she quickly waved it off. "It's not dangerous for you, but it's unusual." He waited for more details. "What kind of assistance?" Morel looked uncomfortable but pressed on. "Forgive me, but I need someone to help me with milking." Adam blinked. "Excuse me?" She smiled nervously. "I know this sounds strange to a human, but my species requires periodic relief. Normally we have specialists for this, but diplomatic restrictions have made them unavailable." "You want me to do this?" Adam asked, his voice cautious. "Yes, you're perfect for it," she said firmly, though her nervousness showed. "It'll only take a short time, and I'll compensate you generously." "And if I refuse?" "Then I risk serious harm to my health," she said, "and the diplomatic negotiations could fail." Adam thought for a moment. "No hidden side effects?" She smiled more sincerely this time. "Only temporary relief. Maybe even enjoyment." Adam shook his head. "This is getting weirder by the second." "I know, but it's necessary," Morel said. "Please trust me." "Fine, but this stays between us." Morel relaxed, smiling brightly. "You won't regret it." "I hope not," he said, standing up. "But if this turns out to be a joke, I wouldn't dare." She stepped closer, her movements graceful and almost hypnotic. "Shall we begin?" Adam stood still as she approached. Her steps were calm, but he could see a slight blush on her cheeks, indicating she was just as embarrassed by this as he was. "Let me explain," she said, pointing to a console that hummed to life with a holographic diagram. "My people produce excess energy during stressful times, like diplomacy. If it's not released, it disrupts our neural pathways." "Right," Adam said, crossing his arms. "And this release involves?" "It's completely non-invasive," Morel reassured him. "But it requires someone to extract the serum. Normally, trained medics handle this, but..." Adam raised an eyebrow. "Politics prevents you from doing this yourself?" Morel sighed in frustration, but smiled faintly at the corner of her lips. "It's not something we can do alone. The process needs a partner to help stabilize the energy transfer." "Stabilize, huh?" Adam glanced at the diagrams. "So, I'm your backup?" Her expression softened. "Yes, and you're my only option." Adam scratched the back of his neck. "All right, let's get this over with." Morel visibly relaxed. "Thank you, Officer Carter. Please follow me." She led him to a high-tech recliner. As Adam sat down, she activated controls, and the room dimmed. Holographic diagrams showed her vitals on the wall. "This might feel strange," she said, rolling up her sleeve to show glowing veins. "The process connects with your bioelectrical field." "Strange is becoming my new normal," Adam muttered, watching as she held a sleek device. Morel moved closer, and her veins glowed brighter. "Stay still and relax. The smoother you are, the easier the transfer." Adam nodded, feeling a quickened pulse as she leaned in. Her scent was floral yet otherworldly. The device in her hand hummed as she positioned it above his arm. A wave of warmth spread through him, soothing and almost hypnotic. "Is this normal?" he asked softly. Morel smiled slightly, focused on the device. "Yes, it's the energy transfer. Your body helps regulate it." The warmth grew, and Adam noticed how close they were. Her glow illuminated her face, and the softness in her eyes caught him off guard. "This doesn't hurt, right?" he asked, feeling their faces nearly touch. She shook her head. "Not at all. Most find it pleasant." Adam cleared his throat, forcing himself to look away. "Great. So, how long does this take?" "Not long," Morel replied, though her breath quickened. The glow brightened, and the device chimed. "Almost done." The warmth faded, leaving Adam feeling refreshed. Morel stepped back, her glow dimming. She looked at him with gratitude. "You've been incredibly helpful," she said. "I owe you more than I can express." Adam stretched slightly. "Just part of the job, but I admit this was unique." Morel smiled warmly. "I hope you'll help again if needed. Let's not make it a habit," he teased, turning to leave. She called after him. "Officer Carter." He turned back. "Yeah? Thank you, truly." For a moment, their eyes locked. Adam felt something he couldn't define. He nodded with a small smile. "Anytime, Morel." As he walked away, he replayed the night in his mind. The warmth, the connection, and the strange chemistry. He shook his head. What a life. Still, part of him wondered when he'd see her again. The next morning, Adam felt a difference on his patrol. Everything seemed sharper, clearer. He flexed his hand, watching blue sparks of energy dance between his fingers. "Something's definitely changed," he muttered, hiding his hand as delegates passed. His comm unit crackled. "Carter, report to Security Hub 7 now." In the hub, Chief Morgan stood by several screens showing footage from last night. "Why did you spend 47 minutes in a diplomat's quarters?" she asked sharply. "It was an official request for assistance, ma'am, all logged with Level 9 clearance." Morgan leaned forward. "What happened in there, Carter?" Before he could answer, an alarm blared. Red emergency lights flashed. "Security breach in Diplomatic Wing B," the AI announced. "Unknown entities detected." Morgan's fingers flew across the console. "All units respond. Carter, you're closest." He was already moving, his enhanced reflexes speeding him down the hall. 3 figures in stealth suits tried to break into Marielle's secure door. The intruder spun, aiming weapons at Adam as energy bolts blasted the wall behind him. But something was different. He could see the energy patterns and predict their shots. Acting on instinct, Adam rolled out of cover and fired his stunner, hitting one attacker with perfect accuracy. The second tried to flank him, but Adam moved with unnatural speed. "Impressive," a familiar voice called. Marielle stood in the doorway, a defensive field around her. "The enhancement worked better than expected," she said. Adam dodged another shot. "We'll talk later," she raised her hand, and a pulse of energy sent the remaining attackers flying. As security teams approached, Marielle grabbed Adam's arm. "We need to leave now." "Leave? I'm on duty," Adam said. "Those weren't random criminals," she cut him off, eyes serious. "They're after both of us. The procedure didn't just help me. It triggered something in your DNA that certain people want to study." Adam looked at his hands, still crackling with energy. "What did you do to me?" "I gave you a gift, or maybe a curse, but we need to move before more show up." Footsteps echoed down the hall. Time was running out. "Trust me," Marielle said, extending her hand. Adam glanced at her, and then at the approaching security. He didn't have answers for them, and these new abilities didn't seem like part of any diplomatic plan. He took her hand. Marielle smiled mischievously. "Would I do that to my favorite security officer?" They slipped through a hidden panel in the wall, away from the alarms blaring behind them. "So," Adam asked as they hurried down the passage, "what's the deal with these enhancements?" "Let's just say," Marielle replied, "your life is about to get a lot more interesting." Behind them, voices echoed, and the pursuit began. The tunnel narrowed, pushing them closer together. Adam was very aware of her presence. "You could have warned me about the side effects," he whispered, catching her arm as she stumbled over a panel. She steadied herself, her hand lingering on his chest. "Would you have believed me? Besides, watching you figure it out is more fun." "Glad I could amuse you," Adam said dryly, but he couldn't help smiling. "Where are we going?" "My people have alternative transport methods," she said. "There's a small ship in a hidden bay." She glanced back. "Unless you want to stay and explain your new abilities?" Before he could answer, voices approached. Marielle pulled him into an alcove, pressing close as footsteps passed. Adam held his breath, aware of how close they were. "This is becoming a habit," he murmured when the danger passed. "Getting into trouble with mysterious diplomats?" she teased. "Do you do this often with diplomats?" he asked. "Only the ones who give me supernatural abilities," he replied, following her as she led the way. They emerged into a large hidden room where a sleek ship waited, its hull glowing faintly. "Your chariot awaits," Marielle said with a grin. "Ready to be a fugitive?" "Do I have a choice?" "Always," she said seriously. "But I'd rather you come with me." Their eyes met in the dim light, and for a moment, the tension between them changed from danger to something else. The ship's hatch sealed, and alarms blared through the bay. Adam followed Marielle to the cockpit, where holographic controls appeared at her touch. "You know how to fly this thing?" he asked as he strapped in. "Among other things," she said, her fingers flying over the controls. "Hold on." The ship smoothly lifted off and shot through a hidden tunnel. G-forces pressed Adam into his seat as they emerged into open space, Naria's swirling atmosphere falling away below them. "Incoming security ships," Adam warned, glancing at the tactical display. "3 of them. Perfect timing to test your new reflexes," Morel said, flipping a switch. A secondary control panel appeared in front of him. "Weapons are yours," she added. But as the information flooded his mind, he froze. It felt like he'd been training on these targeting systems for years. "What's happening to me?" "Your neural pathways are adapting." Morel took a sharp turn, dodging the first set of warning shots. "The energy transfer boosted your ability to process information. Trust your instincts." Adam's hands moved on their own, and the ship's weapons responded immediately, disabling the pursuer's engines with precise shots. "Impressive," Morel said, but her satisfaction was short-lived as a huge shadow loomed over their ship. "That's bad," she muttered. A massive dreadnought-class warship appeared in front of them, its weapons locking onto their ship. "This is Admiral Theon," a deep voice came through their comm. "Stand down. The specimen must be contained." "Specimen?" Adam asked, but Morel shut off the comm and dove beneath the enemy vessel. "We need to," she said as the ship rocked and tractor beams locked onto them. Warning lights flashed. "Can you break free?" Adam's enhanced senses screamed danger. "Not alone." Morel grabbed his hand. "Remember that connection? We need to amplify it." Their fingers intertwined, and a surge of electricity ran through them. The ship's systems powered up, and the tractor beams snapped. They shot forward at incredible speed. "That's not standard equipment," Adam said, his heart racing. "Neither are you," Morel replied, programming a series of rapid jumps. "That's why Theon wants you. Want to know why?" She hesitated, then activated the autopilot. "The procedure we did, it wasn't just to help me. My organization has studied human potential for decades. Your species has dormant abilities that can be unlocked with the right stimulation. And you didn't mention this sooner? Would you have believed me?" She faced him. "We needed to confirm you were compatible." "Not everyone is." "Compatible for what?" "For this," she pointed at his glowing hands. "The bonding process. Most humans reject it, but you're different." Adam watched the stars blur past them. "And Theon wants to weaponize it?" Her face darkened. "Yes, he's been creating enhanced soldiers with brutal methods, deadly ones." "Unlike your methods?" Adam raised an eyebrow. Her cheeks flushed slightly. "Our method is more intimate and entirely voluntary." "Right," he said, flexing his fingers, watching the energy pulse. "So where are we going?" "Somewhere safe." Suddenly, the ship lurched. "Emergency lights," Morel said. "They're tracking us through your energy signature. We need to mask it." "How?" She met his gaze. "Remember how I said the process was intimate? Well, we need to complete the bond fully." Adam's pulse quickened. "Define fully." "It means close contact," she said, stepping into his space. "The energy needs to fully synchronize. It'll help us escape, among other things." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "But only if you're willing." Another impact rocked the ship. Proximity alarms blared. "Your choice, Officer Carter," she said, her eyes locking with his. "But make it quick." Adam glanced at the pursuing ships, then at Morel. He saw the faint glow under her skin, calling to something deep inside him. "Well," he said, standing up. "I've never been good at following rules anyway." Her smile was dangerous and inviting. "That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say." As the enemy closed in, the cabin filled with brilliant blue light. For a moment, it felt like the universe held its breath. The light grew stronger as Morel stepped closer, her hands finding his. Energy surged between them, stronger than before, electric and alive. The systems pulsed with their combined energy. "Let it flow," Muriel whispered, her eyes glowing. "Don't fight it." Adam felt the power rushing through him like liquid fire. Their foreheads touched, and suddenly he felt everything. The ship's systems, the pursuers' targeting, and the fabric of space around them. Muriel took control, and their energy exploded outward. The pursuing ship's systems crashed, and their tracking failed in the chaos. Muriel quickly manipulated the controls, and they jumped into hyperspace. Adam staggered, steadying himself against the bulkhead. That was intense. Muriel's voice mixed satisfaction with concern as her hair floated around her like a dark halo. "That's one way to put it," he said, still feeling the energy in his hands. "Is it always like this?" "No," she replied, but he noticed a slight tremor in her. "This is different. We're different. Different good or bad." "That depends," she said, turning to him with a serious look, "on whether you're ready for what comes next." Before he could ask more, a massive structure appeared as they exited hyperspace, a facility carved into an asteroid, nearly invisible against the stars. "Welcome to Haven," Muriel said. "We train people like us, or at least similar to us." "Similar?" Adam watched as massive hangar doors opened. "Most bonded pairs can barely power a shuttle," she said, as she expertly landed their ship. "We just overloaded 3 military vessels." The docking bay was filled with people in sleek uniforms, a mix of curiosity and concern on their faces. Leading them was a tall woman with silver-streaked hair, radiating authority. "Muriel," the woman called as they descended the ramp. "I assume there's a good reason you initiated an unauthorized bond that's lighting up every sensor in the quadrant?" "Director Vil?" Muriel stood tall. "Admiral Theron forced my hand. He's moving ahead of schedule." Vil's expression darkened as she looked at Adam. "You must be Officer Carter. Welcome to the most classified facility in space, though I doubt this is how you expected to spend your evening." "Definitely not in the security manual," Adam said, aware of how close Muriel still stood to him, their energy humming in sync. "Come," Vil ordered. "We need to talk about what you've started and what's coming." As they walked through the facility, Muriel's hand brushed his, sending sparks between them. "Second thoughts?" she whispered. Adam watched as they passed training areas where other pairs worked together, their energy flowing like liquid light. None of them glowed as brightly as he and Muriel. "About becoming fugitives, caught in an interstellar conspiracy and gaining strange powers?" He smiled at her. Strangely, no. Her smile made his heart race. "Good, because we're just getting started." Around them, secrets waited to be revealed, and somewhere, Admiral Theron plotted his next move. But in that moment, Adam focused only on Muriel and the bond they shared. The adventure was just beginning. Director Vil led them down winding corridors, her pace quick and urgent. "Your quarters are next to each other," she said, stopping in front of 2 doors. "You'll need to stay close because of your bond, at least until you can control it." Muriel raised an eyebrow. "Adjacent? That's cautious." "We're a research facility, not a dating service," Vil replied dryly. "Training starts at 600. Try to rest." As Vil left, Muriel lingered by Adam's door, the energy still between them. A gentle pulse of energy connected them, like a shared heartbeat. "Your control is improving," she said, watching the blue light swirl around his fingers. "Is this what you call it?" he asked, creating a small spiral of energy. "It feels more like chaos barely contained." She stepped closer, took his hand, and the energy surged, filling the room with a soft glow. Chaos can be beautiful when directed properly. Their eyes locked for a moment, and everything around them seemed to disappear. Muriel stepped back, clearing her throat. "Get some rest, Adam. Tomorrow will be a challenge for both of us." "Any hints?" he asked. "Where's the fun in that?" She smiled playfully. The next morning, Muriel waited outside his door, wearing tight training gear that made it hard to focus. "Ready to see what you're capable of?" she asked, leading him to a massive training arena. "Depends. Are you going to throw warships at me again?" "Not today," she replied, tossing him a practice staff. "Today, we dance." The staff hummed in his hands, responding to his energy. Other pairs in the arena practiced synchronized movements. "The bond needs harmony," Muriel explained, getting into position. "Physical, mental, emotional. She attacked without warning. Adam blocked, and their staffs connected in a flash of sparks. Energy flowed between them, guiding his movements. Not bad, Muriel said, circling him. But you're overthinking it. Feel it instead. Feel what? He asked. This, she said, lunging again. This time, when their weapons met, she pressed closer. Their energies intertwined, and Adam could sense her intentions, anticipating her next move. Their practice turned into a fluid dance, each move flowing into the next. Now you're getting it, Muriel breathed, eyes sparkling. They moved faster, their combined energy creating patterns in the air. Other trainees stopped to watch, murmuring. Finally, Muriel called, "Halt!" They stood close, breathing heavily, the air charged with more than just energy. That was... Adam started, but was interrupted. Impressive, Director Ville's voice cut in. She walked over with several officials, though a bit intense for standard training. Muriel stepped back, but kept her eyes on Adam. Standard protocols don't apply to us. Ville gestured to the scorch marks on the training floor. That's why the council wants to meet you both immediately. The council? Adam asked. The leaders of our organization, Muriel said, her face serious. They don't usually take such an interest in new pairs. They do when those pairs have the power to change the political landscape of 3 systems, Ville explained, starting to walk. Follow me, but keep the energy to a minimum. As they followed, Mel's hand brushed against Adam's. Nervous about meeting the secret leaders of a hidden organization while developing unexplained powers and being hunted by a military admiral? He caught her hand, enjoying the spark of contact. Just another day at the office. Her laugh echoed. That's what I like about you, Adam. You make intergalactic conspiracies sound normal. Is that all you like about me? He teased, his pulse quickening. Let's survive the council meeting first. She replied, then maybe we'll talk about that. Around them, Haven buzzed with energy and secrets. But in that moment, Adam only cared about the woman beside him and the connection that grew stronger with each passing hour. The massive doors of the council chamber opened, revealing a circular room bathed in soft blue light. 7 figures sat at elevated positions, their faces hidden in shadow. Approach, a voice commanded. Muriel's hand brushed against Adam's as they walked forward, sending a ripple of energy through the air. The room's lighting was captivating. One council member leaned in. The connection between them is unprecedented and dangerous, another remarked. Such unchecked power. We can control it, Morel stated firmly. Can you? The central figure asked. Without warning, force fields appeared around them, separating Adam and Morel. The sudden separation felt like a physical blow. Adam's energy flared, instinctively pushing against the barrier. Careful, Morel called to him, her own energy responding. They're testing us. Adam tried to calm his power, but could feel Morel's presence pulling at him through the barrier. Interesting, the council leader observed. Even separated, their energy seeks each other. The real question is, can they control it when reunited? The barriers dropped, and Adam and Morel moved together, their energies intertwining. The room's lights flickered as their power flowed between them. Easy, Morel murmured, her hand finding his. Show them harmony, not force. Adam focused on her touch, letting their energies blend, calming the wild power into a steady glow. Better, she smiled, her eyes warm, making his heart race. Impressive control, the leader noted. But control isn't everything. Admiral Theon's forces are growing bolder. They'll come for you both. Let them try, Adam replied confidently. Morel's grip tightened on his hand. We're stronger together. Yes, the leader agreed. That's what concerns us. The lights dimmed, focusing on them like spotlights. Your bond goes deeper than anything we've seen, one member said. It could change everything we know about human-alien relations. Or, another added ominously, it could destroy everything we've built. The real question, the leader concluded, is whether you're ready for what comes next. Morel turned to face Adam, her eyes intense. I am, if you are. The energy between them pulsed with possibility. Adam realized he didn't just want to be ready. He needed to be, for her. What's next? He asked, gazing into her eyes. Advanced training, she said with a playful challenge. Think you can keep up? He let a small surge of energy dance between them. I'm counting on it. The council chambers emptied, leaving them alone in the dim light. Morel stepped closer, her energy wrapping around him like a caress. You know, she whispered, we should practice maintaining control in different situations. Is that what we're calling it now? Adam teased. Her laugh sent a shiver through their shared energy. Among other things, she said as they left the chamber. The air around them crackled with potential. After the meeting, they walked through the quiet corridors. Morel led Adam to their training hall, the tension between them almost palpable. You handled that well, she said, her voice warm yet teasing. Did I? Adam grinned. I thought they were going to ask me to sign a blood contract. Morel laughed, lightening the mood. Vale might have enjoyed that, she said as they stopped at the door. But we have something more important to discuss. She turned to face him, her energy glowing softly. We've been through a lot, Adam, she said, her voice dropping to a more intimate tone. You've proven you can handle the unexpected. Sounds like you're about to throw me into something strange again, he joked, crossing his arms. What is it now? Morel stepped closer, her gaze mixing gratitude and anticipation. I need your help again, she said quietly. But this time, it's not just about duty. I'm asking you as a partner, a close partner. Her words made him pause. This wasn't just a professional request, it was personal. Are you serious? He asked, trying to hide his growing curiosity. After everything we've been through? This isn't just for me, she replied, a smile softening her face. It's for both of us. Her energy began to manifest, tingling against his skin as she stepped closer, close enough for him to feel her warmth. Mirel, are you sure about this? He asked, his voice dropping to a whisper. Completely, she replied. You know how this works, but this time it's more than just sharing energy. It's synchronization. Synchronization? He repeated, staring at her. That's what you're calling it? She smiled playfully. Call it whatever you like, as long as it works. Adam felt nervous and excited as his partner led him to the platform. She took his hand gently but firmly, guiding him. When they faced each other, she activated a console, filling the room with a soft glow. Relax, she whispered, her voice soothing. Trust me. I've heard that before, Adam said with a smirk, though he could feel the tension in his body starting to fade. Marielle placed her hands on his shoulders, sending a calming warmth through him. He could feel their energy merging, creating a strong connection between them. See? She murmured, her lips close to his. It's not chaos anymore. It's harmony. If that's what you call it, he replied, feeling their combined energy surround them. Then I'd do this again. She laughed, a genuine sound, and their bond deepened. As the room dimmed and their energy stabilized, Marielle looked at him warmly. Thank you, Adam, she said softly. You're not just my partner anymore. You've become something more. Adam smiled. I'm always ready for you. Their bond was stronger than ever, and they knew that bigger challenges awaited them, ones they would face together. As the glow in the room faded, they stood close, still catching their breath from the synchronization. Their energy settled into a peaceful hum, a new balance. That was different, Adam said quietly. Marielle's eyes softened, her usual confidence giving way to vulnerability. Different is one way to put it, she replied with a small but real smile. I wasn't expecting it to feel so complete. Complete? Adam asked, tilting his head. Marielle stepped back slightly, still touching his arm, her hand warm against his skin. The bond, she said, her voice full of awe. It's not just energy anymore. Something deeper has aligned. Adam felt a strange sensation ripple through him. Aligned? How? She paused, searching for the right words. Our DNA, during the synchronization, it merged in a way. It's rare, even for my people. It usually happens only with? Adam pressed, sensing she was holding something back. With partners meant to reproduce, she admitted, her gaze dropping. The energy exchange triggered something biological. It's not just a bond anymore. It's life. Adam's eyes widened. Wait, are you saying? Yes, she quickly answered, meeting his gaze again with a mix of vulnerability and determination. I'm saying there's a very high chance I'm pregnant. The room grew quiet except for the faint hum of energy. Adam blinked, processing her words. Pregnant? He repeated. With our child? Marielle nodded, hands clasped in front of her nervously. It's not uncommon for bonded pairs, but it's never happened between a human and my species. This is unprecedented. Adam took a deep breath, running a hand through his hair. Wow, that's a lot to process. I understand if this is overwhelming, Marielle said gently. I didn't plan for this, but hold on, Adam interrupted. Stepping closer, Adam noticed Muriel's tension ease. You mean that? She asked, surprised. Of course, Adam replied, holding her hands. We've faced assassins, conspiracies, and now we've created something incredible. What's one more challenge? Muriel smiled, her eyes full of gratitude. You always surprise me, Adam. I like keeping you on your toes, he teased. But seriously, are you okay? How does this work for your species? It's fast, she said, instinctively placing a hand on her abdomen. The energy we shared sped everything up. I'll know more in a day or two. Adam whistled softly. And I thought humans had complicated relationships. Muriel laughed, squeezing his hand. You've handled this better than I expected. Adam grinned. What can I say? I'm adaptable. But does this mean I'm stuck with you now? Her laughter deepened. Stuck? I think I'm stuck with you. He raised an eyebrow. Don't think you're getting out of this so easily. You owe me explanations on alien parenting. Deal, she said, smiling. But first, we need to tell Vil and the council, right? Adam sighed, because nothing says low-key like telling an intergalactic council we're expecting the first human-alien hybrid. Muriel chuckled, stepping closer. Whatever happens, Adam, I trust you, and I'll be with you always. Same here, he murmured. We'll figure this out together. The next day, Adam woke to the hum of Haven's systems. For a moment, he lay still, thinking about the events from the night before. Instead of feeling panic, he felt calm and responsible. A chime at the door broke his thoughts. He opened it to find Muriel holding a breakfast tray. Her usual composure was there, but her expression was warmer. I thought you might need some food, she said, walking in. Big day ahead. Big day? Adam followed her to the table. You mean telling a room full of geotic leaders we accidentally made history? Muriel smirked. Technically, it wasn't an accident. Adam sat and grabbed a piece of toast. Careful, Muriel. Sounds like you planned this. Planned? No, she said, pouring 2 cups of steaming liquid. Hoped? Maybe. Adam paused, raising an eyebrow. Hoped? Our bond was always special, she explained. It awakened something in both of us. And Adam, I wanted to see where it could go, even before I knew what it meant. Adam leaned back. You're full of surprises. You're one to talk, she smiled. You haven't run from anything I've thrown at you. Well, he said, sipping his drink, you've made it hard to run. Assassins, conspiracies, and now possibly a kid? Kinda ties a guy down. She laughed. So, you're staying? Do I have a choice? He said, his tone teasing. We're in this together. I don't run from my responsibilities or partners. Her smile softened, but before they could say more, the comm unit beeped. Officer Carter, Mariel Zer-Alria, report to the council chambers immediately, came Director Vil's voice. Speaking of responsibilities, Adam muttered, standing up. Muriel adjusted her uniform and stood ready. As ready as I'll ever be, Adam said with a smile. The council chamber, as imposing as ever, was dimly lit with blue lighting. Muriel and Adam stood before the 7 council members, feeling their intense gaze. You have something to report? Vil asked, her voice calm but firm. Muriel stepped forward, holding her head high. During our synchronization, something unprecedented happened. Our DNA merged. Adam and I are now bonded on a biological level. She hesitated, glancing at Adam, who nodded. Mariel's voice was steady as she spoke. There's a high chance I'm carrying the first hybrid child between our species. The room fell silent. Adam could sense the quiet reactions of the council. Finally, the central figure spoke. This could change everything about human-alien relations. The implications are huge. Huge doesn't even begin to cover it. Another member interrupted. If Theon finds out, his forces will come after you both harder. Adam stepped forward, hands clenched. Then we won't let him, he said. Muriel and I aren't going to just wait for him to strike. What do you propose, Officer Carter Bale? Asked the council member, her expression unreadable. Give us a chance to fight back. Train us. Use us. If our bond is as powerful as you say, let's use it. Muriel placed a hand on Adam's arm, grounding him. Adam's right. We didn't choose this, but we can use it to help both our species. The council exchanged looks, then nodded. Very well. You'll start advanced training immediately, but be warned, this bond makes you a target. If it falls into the wrong hands, the consequences could be catastrophic. We understand, Muriel replied. The meeting ended, and Vil wished them congratulations on their partnership. As they left the chamber, Muriel exhaled softly, her confident front slipping just enough for Adam to notice. You okay? He asked, touching her shoulder. She nodded, though her smile was faint. I'm just realizing how much bigger this is than us. Hey, he said, squeezing her shoulder. Whatever happens, we face it together. Her smile grew, easing the tension in her eyes. You're impossible, you know that? And you love it, he teased. Muriel laughed. Let's just survive this training, then we'll see if you're still so confident. As they walked through Haven's corridors, their bond pulsed gently, a constant reminder of their connection. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about building something new, something that could change the galaxy. And Adam couldn't imagine facing the future with anyone else but Muriel. In the following weeks, they trained intensely. Their bond grew stronger, and they learned to channel their energy into combat, defense, and communication. They relied on each other more than ever. Their relationship deepened, and they came to trust each other completely. Adam admired Muriel's sharp mind and quiet strength, while she respected his determination and grounded nature. Their shared experiences created a bond that went beyond the physical. Then, news came that Admiral Thuron had located Haven. The council debated evacuation, but Adam and Muriel knew running wasn't an option. Thuron would never stop hunting them, and the fragile peace of the galaxy was at risk. The day of the attack, Thuron's fleet surrounded Haven with overwhelming force. Inside the base, chaos reigned as personnel scrambled for battle. Adam and Muriel stood together in the command center, their hands clasped, coordinating with the defense teams. Their bond radiated around them, visible to all. We'll take the fight to them, Adam said. Muriel and I can use the ship to break their lines and disable their command vessel. It's a suicide mission, Director Ville warned. No, Muriel disagreed, her voice firm. It's our best chance. Together, we can do this. Reluctantly, the council agreed. As their ship raced toward Thuron's flagship, Adam and Muriel used their combined energy to power the ship, evading enemy fire. Inside the flagship, Thuron waited. The ship's corridors were sterile and guarded. Adam and Muriel fought their way through, deflecting attacks with their energy shields and staying one step ahead. Finally, they confronted Thuron in the command center. He was a towering figure, his presence intimidating. You've gone to great lengths for this, Thuron sneered, gesturing to the energy around them. But you're out of your depth. Your bond is a liability. Funny, Adam replied, stepping forward. It seems to be working just fine. Thuron activated a device on his wrist, and the air crackled with destabilizing energy. Adam and Muriel staggered as their bond was thrown into chaos, disrupting their connection. Without your bond, you're nothing, Thuron said, advancing on them. No, Muriel said, her voice rising. Our bond isn't just about power. It's about trust. She reached out for Adam's hand, and despite the interference, their energies aligned. Together, they focused their strength into one powerful burst that shattered Thuron's device and disabled the ship. With alarms blaring, Thuron fell, his plans ruined. The fleet, now leaderless and in disarray, retreated. Back at Haven, celebrations erupted as the threat faded. Adam and Muriel stood on a balcony overlooking the base. They were the galaxy's first human-alien bonded pair, and its first high parents. You know, Adam said, wrapping his arm around her waist, this isn't exactly how I imagined my life. Regrets? Muriel teased. Not one, he replied. Though I have to admit, this has been quite a first date. Muriel laughed. And here I thought humans like to take things slow. Not when it comes to saving the galaxy, Adam said, smiling, or falling in love. Their eyes met, and in that moment, the weight of their journey disappeared, leaving only the bond they shared. Months later, their child was born, a perfect blend of human and Zarian traits. The hybrid symbolized not only their love, but also the potential for unity between their peoples. The council, once skeptical, now saw their bond as a beacon of hope for a new era of cooperation. Adam and Muriel became ambassadors, traveling the galaxy to share their story and promote understanding between species. Their adventures continued, filled with challenges, humor, and the unbreakable bond that had brought them together. And though the future was uncertain, they knew one thing for sure. They would face it hand in hand, their connection a reminder that true unity and love were possible, even in the vastness of the galaxy.